Welcome to the Mystery Snapshots of History, where the past holds more secrets than you ever imagined. Annie Oakley grew up in a modest family and faced many challenges from an early age. As a child, she developed remarkable shooting skills, which she used to support her family through hunting. Her talent soon caught the attention of Buffalo Bill, who invited her to join his Wild West show. Annie quickly became one of the main attractions, performing across the United States and Europe. The biggest draw of Buffalo Bill's show was the cowboy shootout reenactments. Many of the performers were real professionals, hunters, lawmen, or former criminals. Their skill earned them high wages, and many no longer had to worry about money thanks to their work in the show. A photograph from 1877 offers a rare glimpse of the legendary outlaw Billy the Kid, wearing a white shirt, dark vest, and top hat. He is seated to the left of a table, playing a tense card game with his gang. The men keep their cards hidden, while an almost empty liquor bottle sits on the table. A young prostitute is shown inside a Pennsylvania brothel in 1892, captured by a photographer's lens. The image reflects the harsh reality many women faced in the Wild West, where sex work was a means of survival on the margins of society. Two prostitutes pose for the camera inside a brothel in Alaska during the 1892. As men flooded the frontiers in search of work, they vastly outnumbered women in many regions. This imbalance contributed to the rise of the so-called Golden Age of brothels, often operated by madams who managed the establishments. A photograph taken in the early 1900s shows people gathered along the main street of Manhattan, Nevada. The city was originally founded in 1867 after the discovery of silver nearby. A second wave of settlers arrived in 1905 when gold was found, drawing over 4,000 new residents to the area. In Colorado, around 1890, a group of gold miners poses for a photograph inside their cabin. The fervor of the gold rush marked a significant chapter in American history, representing the relentless pursuit of wealth and opportunity in the rugged lands of the western frontier. Seth Kinman, a skilled hunter of the Wild West, is remembered for crafting a unique gift for President Andrew Johnson. He designed an extraordinary chair made from elk horns and bearskin, a rustic and striking piece meant to showcase both his craftsmanship and frontier identity. In a 1907 account from the American West, a cow played an unusual role in the lives of 7 children. Each day, she carried them to school, serving as a dependable form of transportation. This rare story highlights the practicality and resourcefulness of rural frontier life. Johnson's peaceful life changed dramatically after his wife was killed by a Crow warrior. Grieving and enraged, he sought revenge against the tribe. During his violent campaign, he became known as the Liver Eater for the brutal method he used against his enemies, executing, scalping, and reportedly consuming their livers. In several western states like Arizona, prostitution became a regulated source of public revenue. Through the licensing of brothels, collection of fines, and taxation, the practice contributed to local development and financed civic projects. Despite being legal in the 19th century, sex workers remained heavily stigmatized. Rodeos became popular events in the Wild West, drawing crowds of all ages to celebrate frontier culture. At one rodeo in California, a woman and her horse amazed spectators by leaping over a convertible, a moment that captured the courage, skill, and bold spirit that defined the era. Billy the Kid managed to escape prison twice. The first time, he killed 2 guards during his getaway. The second time, he dug a hole in the cell wall using only a spoon. Despite his outlaw status, Billy maintained a charismatic personality and was known to have many friends, including Sheriff Pat Garrett, who would later become his enemy. Pearl Hart carried out a daring stagecoach robbery in Arizona while dressed in men's clothing. Her boldness shocked many and turned her into a widely known outlaw, drawing the attention of law enforcement and the press. The Hatfield family, often cited as a typical example of American frontier life, was photographed together in 1888. Their image, marked by expressions of pride and unity, remains one of the most recognized family portraits of the Wild West. This photograph captures a notable moment in stagecoach history. The Deadwood stagecoach was considered one of the safest and most heavily guarded of its time. It regularly transported valuable cargo such as mail and gold, and was protected by a team of skilled men prepared to defend it at all costs. In 1892, a group of men stands beside a towering pile of buffalo skulls in Michigan. At one time, as many as 60 million bison roamed the plains, sustaining Native American communities with food, clothing, and shelter. The westward expansion of the 19th century brought their near extinction. A group of hunters poses outside a cabin in Arizona in 1908, surrounded by their loyal dogs. This rustic scene reflects the camaraderie and rugged spirit of frontier hunters who ventured into untamed nature for survival and sport. Buffalo Bill is shown in a 1899 photograph that highlights his frontier legacy. Known as a buffalo hunter, soldier, actor, and guide, he gained global fame for his traveling rodeo show, which featured shooting displays and horseback performances that shaped the public's image of the Wild West. A photograph from 1890 shows a feared gang of young outlaws composed of African American and Native American members, known for kidnapping, robbery, and violence. They developed a reputation for eluding capture until eventually being arrested and sentenced to death. James Miller, a hired assassin, active in the 1882nd, reportedly earned between $150 and $2,000 per job, often working at night in a black coat. He is believed to have killed around 12 people. In 1886, after murdering a U.S. Marshal, he was lynched by an enraged mob. A photograph from 1895 shows a group of men playing cards in a saloon in Arizona. Saloons were central to social life in the Wild West, offering entertainment and a break from the hardships of daily frontier living. A photograph from 1873 features gunslinger and sheriff Wild Bill Hickok, renowned for his shooting skills and involvement in violent confrontations. Hickok became a legendary figure whose fame has endured for generations. An image from 1863 captures American General George Custer, known for his service during the Civil War and later defeats against Native American tribes on the western frontier. His military career and downfall became a symbol of the era's brutal conflicts. Bass Reeves, the first black deputy, U.S. Marshal west of the Mississippi, was appointed in 1875 by Judge Isaac Parker. Over his career, he made more than 3,000 arrests and killed 14 outlaws in self-defense. Known for his integrity, Reeves often chose to bring fugitives in alive to face the court. Wyatt Earp, one of the most iconic names in the American Wild West, Started out working as a miner and merchant before rising to fame as a lawman. He is best known for his involvement in violent clashes, most notably the gunfight at the Mobile Cell K. Corral in 1,881-inch Tombstone, Arizona. Iron White Man. A Sioux Indian. Gained recognition through his performances in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Joining in 1883, he became known for his skill with horses and the bow and arrow, captivating audiences with his impressive displays. A photograph from 1864 shows a slave auction house in Atlanta, Georgia, guarded by a Union soldier during the American Civil War. The image stands as a stark reminder of the brutality and inhumanity of slavery in the United States. Judge Roy Bean, often called the Law West of the Pecos, was known for his eccentric behavior and unpredictable rulings. He frequently judged cases under the influence of alcohol and claimed he had been appointed judge by the president himself, a claim many historians dispute. Joe Black Fox, another Sioux Indian performer in Buffalo Bill's show, participated in reenacted battles and traditional dance performances. Through the show, he shared his people's customs with a global audience and had the opportunity to travel internationally. A remarkable 1,872 photograph features a group of Paiute Indians in Utah. As a nomadic people of the Great Basin, they relied on hunting, fishing, and gathering. Their history was deeply affected by the arrival of settlers who claimed their ancestral lands. James Butler Hickok, better known as Wild Bill, became one of the most legendary gunslingers in the West, known for carrying a pair of pistols at all times. He also worked as a buffalo hunter, stagecoach guide, and lawman, but it was his marksmanship that cemented his fame. General George Crook, a prominent military figure of the 19th century, began his service in 1852 and fought in various Civil War campaigns. He later led military operations against Native American tribes in the West, becoming one of the key commanders of the era. In a rare photograph from around 1863, an American soldier is seen making a humorous pose for the camera. Taken during the Civil War, the image captures a brief glimpse of levity in the midst of widespread conflict. This 1871 photograph by William Henry Jackson shows Native American leader Petal Sherrow in Nebraska. At the time, many tribes were facing displacement, territorial loss, and pressure to assimilate into European American culture. Inside a Utah saloon in the 1882nd, a patron poses for a photograph alongside his horse, creating a striking and unusual scene. Such interiors were typical of Western towns, where saloons served as gathering places for local residents. Belle Starr, known as the Bandit Queen, was captured in a photograph that reflects her bold demeanor. Active in the late 19th century, she associated with infamous outlaws such as Jesse James. Her life, steeped in mystery and legend, made her a lasting symbol of the Wild West. A group of men stands outside a saloon in the city of Mill City, Montana. In 1880, after long days of physical labor, saloons became common places for men to gather, drink, and unwind in the harsh environment of the frontier. Chief U, a prominent Apache leader, led numerous attacks against both Mexican and American forces in the mid-1800s. His resistance intensified after his wife and 3 children were killed by Mexican troops, fueling his determination to protect his people and homeland. In 1890, a farming family poses for a photograph in Nebraska with a windmill standing in the background. Windmills were vital for pumping water and irrigating dry land, representing both the resilience and ingenuity of settlers who sought to tame the frontier. Billy the Kid appears again in a photograph from 1879. Known for his fearlessness and marksmanship, he became one of the most wanted men in New Mexico, accused of several murders, including that of the Lincoln County Sheriff. A Native American family is shown in a camp in Montana in 1890 Dacian. The image captures elements of daily life and traditional structures, offering insight into how Native communities preserved their way of life despite increasing outside pressure and change. Pat Garrett, formerly known as Patrick Floyd Garrett, earned lasting fame as the sheriff who killed the notorious outlaw Billy the Kid. Known for his determination, Garrett was one of the most relentless lawmen of the Wild West. He was fatally ambushed on the 29th of February, and is still remembered as a symbol of justice in a chaotic era. The main street of Dodge City in 1878 was one of the most infamous locations in the Wild West. Alongside towns like Deadwood, Dodge City attracted outlaws, gamblers, and adventurers. The city was filled with saloons, brothels, and gunfights, blurring the line between law and disorder. In 1874, General George Custer led columns of cavalry, artillery, and wagons across the Dakota Territory. This expedition was part of a larger push into Native American lands, marking a significant moment in the westward expansion of U.S. military presence. A photograph from 1880 captures cowboys bathing in a lake at the end of a cattle drive in Kansas, with horses and wagons nearby. The scene offers a rare glimpse into the exhausting routines of cowboy life, where such moments of rest were both needed and brief. Taken in 1873. This image shows a solitary church perched on rocky terrain in the New Mexico desert. Built in an area inhabited for millennia by the Zuni people, the structure represents both spiritual devotion and resilience in a harsh environment. Around 1900, a group of businessmen transports borax through Death Valley using a team of 20 mules. This unforgiving desert region in California challenged even the hardiest of pioneers in their pursuit of mineral wealth. A family of settlers poses outside their farmhouse in Custer County, Nebraska, in a photograph taken in May 1862. This image reflects the early days of homesteading under the newly enacted Homestead Act, capturing both hope and hardship on the frontier. In an 1886 image, a migrant family arrives in Nebraska, seeking a new life in the American heartland. The westward migration was driven by dreams of land ownership and opportunity, often at great personal risk and sacrifice. Lawmen pose with their firearms in Oklahoma in 1890. These figures were seen as enforcers of order in towns that were often plagued by violence and lawlessness during rapid expansion across the western frontier. Calamity Jane appears in a photograph from around 1882. Celebrated for her exceptional riding and shooting skills, known for her role in the Dakota Gold Rush, she remains one of the most well-known and legendary women of the Wild West. A photo taken in 1878 shows thousands of buffalo hides stacked in a yard in Dodge City, Kansas. Commercial hunters decimated bison populations, leaving carcasses to rot, a symbol of the overexploitation and environmental damage of the westward push. In Oklahoma, around 1900, a cowboy demonstrates expert lasso skills for the camera. Trick roping and rodeo performances became defining features of cowboy culture, blending utility with public spectacle. The main street of Deadwood, South Dakota, is shown crowded with people and wagons. This early image captures the beginnings of one of the most iconic towns of the Wild West, a place that would later be immortalized in countless Western films and television series. A view of Helena, Montana, shortly after the discovery of gold in 1870, shows wagons and people filling its main street. The gold rush quickly transformed Helena into a bustling hub for adventurers and prospectors seeking fortune in the hills of the American West. Cowboy Nat Love, photographed around 1909, was born into slavery, but became one of the most skilled and respected cowboys of his time. His life represents the resilience and struggle for recognition faced by African Americans in the post-Civil War American West.